И как планирует Америка инвестировать в Таджикистан?
Well, I will agree with you that investing in innovation and investing in technology is a way forward for Tajikistan. And to be honest, I'm so impressed with the young people in this country. They have so many fantastic ideas, and they have great initiative, and they're so creative. We have American centers, American spaces across the country, and we sponsor what are called STEAM fairs: science, technology, education, arts, and math, and science. These are events that bring together young people with innovative ideas, and we pair them with investors, with entrepreneurs, to help them start up a new company so that they can bring their ideas to the marketplace. So we want to invest in young people in Tajikistan. We want to attract technology companies from the United States, and we want to invest in innovation in Tajikistan. Now, I'll be honest with you. This is not an easy place to do business, and there are things we can do to make it easier. Right? We need to work together on tax and regulatory issues to make this a more attractive investment climate. We need to enforce intellectual property rights in Tajikistan, and we need to make sure that there's transparency and predictability in the investment environment, in the regulatory environment. So together we're working on all of those things, but I agree very much with President Rahman that innovation and science and technology is the way of the future for Tajikistan.
После переезда в США выдается ли какой-нибудь анализ о состоянии этих людей, которые я слышала, что некоторые рассказывали, что им потом по переезду в США очень сложно дается жизнь, их дальше не поддерживают, не помогают. Есть ли какой-то пакет или программа по поддержке вот этих победителей ГРИН-карт?
It's a great question. I'm glad you asked that question. First of all, I'm very pleased to announce that the annual diversity visa lottery has continued, and just yesterday, in fact, we announced that the start of this year's program. So we are now receiving applications for this diversity visa lottery. So we encourage you and your listeners to visit the website and learn how they can submit an application to participate in this program. It's a very successful program. In 2018, we received more than 47,000 applications for this program. And I think through the lottery system, about 1,200 of them were accepted, and those applicants were invited to come and interview for a visa. So it is quite popular, it is ongoing, and it is live. It is happening right now. So that's the good news. If I might answer your question, I think it's an excellent question, and it's a fair one. People applying for this program ought to know that they would be moving to a new country and entering a new culture and a new society. And it's going to entail new challenges. And any applicant ought to know that going in. They ought to have their eyes open to those challenges. We don't provide free housing. We don't provide a job for people who receive a diversity visa. What does happen, and I'm very pleased about this, is applicants who receive this visa, they enter the United States and they find a community. They connect with a community. Whether it's a Tajik community or a family or a friend, they find that Americans welcome them, and they find that they can start a new life. It is possible. It requires hard work and dedication, and it's not easy. But they find people to help them, and the government can help in some ways. The local government quite often can help. We want to support businesses and entrepreneurs. We can help start up a new business. We can help deliver information about schooling for children. So there are resources out there, but I agree it's a challenge. The good news is there is a community that they would be welcome to.
Поэтому в молодости, если переехать, легче, чем уже в возрасте.
I think that's true.
Да. На сегодняшний день какое количество граждан Таджикистана проживает на территории США? Можете ли это сказать?
You know, I don't have that figure. Again, I'm sorry, I don't have the numbers for you. You might have to check the latest census data, although I'm not convinced that we track the number of people living in the United States by ethnicity or ethnic background. We simply wouldn't track that information officially. Keep in mind also there are Tajik Americans, maybe who were born in the United States. There might be Tajik Uzbek Americans, right? So it might be difficult to come up with a total number. I can say this though, that the Tajik community in the United States is very vibrant and very dynamic and very much connected. I've seen and heard and met people from New York, of course, from the big cities, right? But there's also Denver, Colorado, which is a medium-sized city. There's a very vibrant Tajik culture in Denver. The famous tea house is an example of that. But also in Florida, in other states around the country, Tajiks have lived and continue to live and thrive in our country, and they're most welcome.
Спасибо большое. Как таджикский студент может попасть на краткосрочное обучение в США? Существуют ли какие-либо программы? Там, например, я слышала, у вас есть fellowship, который вы даете на год, 2 года.
You know, to be honest, most of our exchange programs are geared towards a longer-term visit and a longer-term study program. Whether it's high school through the Flex program or undergraduate university through the UGrad program or through the Fulbright program, we'll have sometimes exchanges with Tajik scholars. And really that's designed to do several things. It gives the student more time to learn about American culture and American way of life and to meet people. When someone visits our country, we want them to enter a community and enter our society and get to know Americans. That takes some time. And we also want them as students to invest in their education and take the time to really work hard over a period of time. So that's why we tend to have programs that are longer in duration. We don't, to my knowledge, we don't have short-term English language training programs sponsored by the US government, for example. It's really about studying in your degree, getting a diploma or a degree program. And that's why it takes a longer period of time to do that.
Это отлично. Спасибо большое. На этом было очень много вопросов, но мы избрали, да, все такие боли, которые больная тема Таджикистана.